The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade 2018 was about to get some notable events, both good and bad. Starting up this year was a bit of a sad start. On April 17th, former executive producer Jean McFadden, the woman who made the Macy's Parade what it is today from 1977 all the way up to 2000, had passed away at 75 due to cancer. During the broadcast, a special tribute was made for her, with the host wearing cowboy hats. This parade was dedicated to her. Speaking of host, Hoda Kotb became the new main co-anchor with Savannah Guthrie on The Today Show, and now she joins with her and Al Roker for the parade, still to this day. But there was one thing about this year: it was the weather. Another high wind threat occurred that year, but the biggest obstacle for the spectators was the temperature, as it was a whopping 19 degrees! Making it the coldest Macy's parade on record. I feel bad for everyone there, but the show must go on, as we got 27 songs to rank here. However, this year was very infamous for its massive lip sync fails, so who will shine and who will get embarrassed here? This is my ranking of the songs of the 92nd Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Number 27, Estamos Bien by Bad Bunny. Puerto Rico native Benito Ocasio, well known as Bad Bunny, is one of the most popular Latin artists going on right now, even being the first non-English artist to be on Spotify's most streamed artist of the year, and he's the only music artist to have a balloon based on one of his album covers with the hottest heart in 2022. Back on this year, he makes his appearance in the parade performing his single Estamos Bien, which means we are good in English, and would be added as track number 14 in his upcoming debut album X100 Pre, set to be released on Christmas Eve. I get it is a Latin song, but what on earth was he saying? Mainly because of his voice. It might sound better with some of his other songs, but my gosh, that beginning portion of the song sounded awful. Even the parade made it worse for me. Although, and I don't know if he sang this live, which I think he did because of the echo. I could impersonate on what I heard from, but that's not my thing. Number 26, Voices in My Head by Ashley Tisdale. After her time on Disney Channel, Ashley Tisdale went under the radar for a few years in terms of the mainstream paparazzi, then came this year for her third parade, where she made a new single called Voices in My Head, our explicit song from this year's roster, which is clean for the parade, as it goes about her struggling health in the past. That would be the subject of her third album later in 2019 with Symptoms. This song would be added as track number 8. Although I do support on how she can fight her poor mental health that she has been struggling for many years, or as some would probably say it's because of the Disney Channel curse, I'm not a fan of this song, honestly. With her being older, her voice doesn't sound the same as she used to, but then that was back in 2006 and 7 when she performed, and now she's in her 30s. Also, I felt uncomfortable when she did drop the F-bomb in the song, because as someone who did had a little crush on her when I was a kid because of Sharpay, that's saying much. Number 25, Last Christmas by AliBrooke. After many years with Fifth Harmony, AliBrooke Hernandez has now gone solo since the ending of this group, and one of her songs she did this year was a promotional single of her rendition of Last Christmas for her second parade. I do not like this rendition at all, cause in a major coincidence, Ashley Tisdale's cover was so much better. It felt more like a sped up version of the original version by Wham. I felt more annoyed by it and how similar it is. I know it's a cover, but she almost kind of felt like did an exact 100% remake of the original version. Number 24, Don't Rain on My Parade by Luca Banovan. To start the parade's broadcast on NBC, we get a pre-recorded number of the Funny Girl song Don't Rain on My Parade, and performing it is child actor Luca Banovan, who is actually the first voice of Jed for the show Super Wings. He got a call from Santa, who called him Ryan instead of his real name for some unknown reason, to help him get the final preparations for the parade by gathering the clowns, the Radio City Rockettes, the parade studio in Moonachie, New Jersey, and one of the marching bands at the parade's starting line. Look, no offense to the kid, but this opening here is kind of forgetful. This is compared to the other opening acts we have gotten since 2014. Even the Dancing in the Street performance from last year was better than this. and not a great rendition of this, because we do have a better opening of this song that would come out 4 years later. Number 23, What Are We Going to Play Today, or as they call it, Plan the Play, or Playing the Play, by Anika, Noni, Rose, and the cast of Sesame Street. In continuation of HBO's Sesame Street, including the debut of their autistic Muppet Julia, the celebrity joining them is Anika, Noni, Rose, well known in recent years as the voice of Tiana in Disney's The Princess and the Frog, debuts the song What Are We Going to Play Today, or Plan the Play as they called it on the broadcast, or some say Playing the Play, I don't know, that would later on be on the show performed by Andy Grammer. So like last year with Leslie Odom Jr., they got the wrong celebrity who was going to perform the song with the cast on the show. Honestly, the version of the parade is better with Anika, Noni, Rose here, because you can hear a bit of her Tiana voice in it, and it is the right tone for the song, unlike the one with Grammer, so I don't know why they didn't bring her back to perform that song on the show then. And I'm glad she got the spotlight, as the cast of Sesame Street were just the choir for this year. Number 22, Boot Up by Elle May. Since competing on the 11th season of The X Factor in the UK, Elle May Howard was in the trio group Arise, now had gotten soloed to get worldwide with 3 EPs. The third one from last year, Ready, has her single hit Boot Up as track number 1. It would also be added to her self-titled debut album as track number 8, and even won for Best R&B Song and nominated for Song of the Year at the Grammys. It's a fine song, although this is a longer one at 4 minutes, which is not wasting time, it was just boring. And I don't know why she added that dialogue to the end of her song, by the way. At least the parade was quick about it, although it did felt incomplete. At least I can say she did it live, because you can hear the stereo seem to be a bit off, and if you listen carefully, you can hear her breath when she started a lyric. Number 21. Wouldn't Be Loverly by the cast of Broadway's My Fair Lady, featuring Laura Benanti. From the original run in 1956 with Julie Andrews, My Fair Lady has been on Broadway for many generations. Even the 1993 revival got to perform back in that year's parade. Now on its 4th revival, and its star, Laura Ambrose, who already left the show, her replacement, Laura Benanti, and the cast performs the most well-known number of the musical, Wouldn't Be Loverly. Even if the lots of chocolate and wouldn't be loverly parts are catchy, I do like the interactions Benanti had with some of the audience at Herald Square. This rendition of the number is not really loverly. Not bad by any means, it's just so simple. Nothing really special here other than what Eliza, the character she plays, on what she wants the most. That and the accents are so stereotypical on how I said chocolate. Just having this out of context is why it didn't work for me, since I never watched the musical or the Oscar-winning Best Picture film of 1964. Number 20. Let You Love Me by Rita Aura. Here's the big elephant in the room why 2018 was noted for its lip-syncing. And who can tell you that than none other than British singer Rita Ora. With her single hit Let You Love Me that was added to her recent released second album Phoenix as track number 2. I got to start up with the parade here. A massive embarrassment for Aura and the tech crew at NBC for the parade. I don't know if there was a technical problem, but how she didn't even start or not even hear her own audio to match the lip syncing here? Which is different compared to the actual song, by the way. And even the technical people at NBC did not know when to end the song, because Savannah Guthrie was already talking about the NYPD marching band after the crazy glue float already moved out of Herald Square. What's so sad about this is that this song is actually really good. This, the Oscar-nominated song Grateful from the movie Beyond the Lights, that was written by Diane Warren, by the way, and being part of Band Aid 30 in 2014, just shows how a great singer she is. It's just unfortunate that the lip-syncing has to be a thing in the parade instead of live most of the time. Number 19. Where Are You Christmas by Pentatonics. To continue their tradition of performing in the Macy's Parade with an all-new Christmas album, with the exception of 2016 with a Pentatonics Christmas, Pentatonics' third Christmas and seventh studio album presents Christmas Is Here, Track number 11 that they perform is their rendition of Where Are You Christmas from the 2000 movie How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and marking the parade debut of their new member, Kevin Olusola. I'm not a big fan of this song from the Grinch movie, although I do like that choir part in the ending of that movie, which I think that would have been the amazing to have a full version of that, but instead of like Cindy Lou or Faith Hill. In terms of Pentatonics' cover, it is better than those two from the movie. I really like the first half with Mitch, which I wish it was just him doing a solo part with the others just doing their beatboxing thing, instead of Scott and Kristen doing the second half. And it is not on top notch compared to their rendition of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Also, they should have been in the later part of the parade to line up with the other Christmas songs. If you go by parade order, well, they're not the only ones to perform a Christmas song earlier in the roster if you go by throughout many years of the parade. Number 18, Keep It Lit by Tegan Marie. Getting ready for a teen country singer, although originally from Michigan, at age 13, Tegan Marie became the youngest female singer to sign a major country label for Warner Music Nashville since Tanya Tucker. 2 years later at 15, one of her two singles from this year, she performs Keep It Lit. This song is actually good, and she did do a great job writing this. Now, I know she was a mid-teen at the time. I don't like that country singing voice, because it kind of sounded stereotypically fake. Then again, many artists would also do that, whether what age you are. The parade also did felt incomplete, as only the middle part of the song was used instead of the verse, and the ending when she says, "We started this fire," that should have been the end of the performance, and then have announcer Lee Marchek say what's coming up, but then as you saw in the parade, he was announcing when she was not even done with her performance. Number 17. Fearless by the cast of Broadway's Mean Girls. Mean Girls has been considered a classic coming-of-age movie in recent years. Now Tina Fey has taken it to the stage, first at Washington, D.C., now on Broadway as she was interviewed by Savannah and Hoda up on the booth. As they watch, the cast performs the final number of Act 1, Fearless, which the cast recording album also comes with a small reprise of Someone Gets Hurt, which is not in the parade. Similar to My Fair Lady, seeing the number and listening to this music out of context, specifically the song itself, is a bit odd for me. Sure, a much stronger song for these girls. I don't think putting a teen comedy as a musical doesn't work for me at the moment. Then again, this did get a lot of Tony nominations and a film adaptation that was released back in January of this year with some positive reviews. I can see why people love this one. I say out of all the Broadway ones from this year, I think these actors have struggled the most. Not with their performance, but with that cold temperature in the teens. These actors had to be freezing while doing this, especially the main three girls all wearing skirts. Number 16. What If I Told You I Like You by Johnny Orlando and Mackenzie Ziegler. After last year where we got a duet with Common and Andrew Day, now we got a love song duet by two teenagers, Canadian Johnny Orlando and the younger sister of Maddie Ziegler, Mackenzie Ziegler, performs their 2016 collab single, What If I Told You I Like You. Honestly felt mixed with this, because it really sounds cute of having two teens that are not a couple singing together a love song. It's just that Johnny's voice at the time just sounds like a typical young teen pop star of the 2000s. Mackenzie is fine, it's just I don't know which parts are hers and the ones are Johnny's because how their voices are so similar, and I think she showed us a better talent outside of dancing for Mackenzie than what her older sister cannot do, like performing a stereotypical autistic person for a movie. Don't make me go there, please. Sure, that movie was 3 years after this performance, I'm just saying. The parade did felt incomplete, and like Tegan Marie, the announcer came in to tell us what's coming up, although this did came first before Maria's performance in the broadcast. Number 15. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas by John Legend. Here's one of the biggest artists in our modern era. John Stevens, better known as John Legend, makes his first Macy's parade by doing a rendition of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas from his 7th and first Christmas album, A Legendary Christmas, as track number 3. The album was even nominated for a Grammy for Best Traditional Pop Vocal Album. In recent years, I've been getting more annoyed with this rendition because my local radio station keeps playing during their 24/7 Christmas music. Well, it got a single release, that's what. I don't mind it at all, it's just ridiculous they played the same renditions of those Christmas songs every year in my local area. The parade also felt odd to me, not because of the lip syncing that John had admitted he did. Him doing it solo doesn't work out, because this rendition does come with a feature artist, which is Esperanza Spalding, who sounded great with John. It's just without her in the parade, it's kind of a difficult performance. Number 14, Closer to You by Carly Pearce. Carly Sloser has been performing country music since 2006. It wasn't until last year she got her breakthrough in the mainstream realms. After her first album, she only had one new single released this year, being the radio hit, especially in country radio, Closer to You. This would later be added on her second self-titled album in 2020 as track number 1. Unlike Keep It Lit, Closer to You felt more of a typical country song of driving. This is mainly because I heard this on a country radio station, my local one specifically, a couple of times, and it kinda annoyed me. Also, when she sang The Moon Hanging, I thought she said the movies when I heard it on the radio. Number 13, Walk My Way by Brynn Cartelli. Also at age 15, like Tegan Marie, a teen girl named Brynn Cartelli auditioned for season 14 of NBC's The Voice. She became the second person to audition and became Kelly Clarkson's first singer on her team in her first season that ended up going all the way as she became the youngest winner ever on The Voice. Although the winners of the show don't get the big stardom, as sadly the coaches are the ones that get the bigger impact, more so than the artists themselves. But unlike any other winner, probably because of her coach Kelly Clarkson, Brynn ended up in the Macy's parade by performing her debut single that she performed in the live finals of The Voice, Walk My Way. As I stated, with the lip syncing from this year being very noticeable, Kelly Clarkson had stated Brynn was performing in live, so you could tell Brynn got in the parade because of her coach. I was tending not to believe what Kelly said since I've not seen the parade in a while, so coming back to it, I say she did sing this live, because there was a little bit of mumbling of one of the lyrics she did when she tried to start with one of them, although I'm not really a fan of the song in general. In fact, I did watch The Voice during its early years, and now I only go to their YouTube channel for the auditions just to see who got blocked, so the singers I don't usually follow. Number 12, Hot Stuff and Last Dance by the cast of Broadway's Summer, the Donna Summer musical featuring Ariana DeBose and LaChanze. You can tell by the title of this jukebox musical, Summer, the Donna Summer musical is about the life of Donna Summer, with 3 actresses playing her. Primarily for the parade, Ariana DeBose on her second after Bring It On the musical, and LaChanze Sap Gooding, both of whom were nominated for Tonys for their performance, as these two takes the leads of the last 2 numbers of the musical, Hot Stuff led by DeBose, and Last Dance led by LaChanze. I will be honest, I did not know who Donna Summer was until this musical, because I don't think none of her songs were in my local stations that play oldies hits, and she passed away 6 years prior to this musical, which is on her life. I feel like Hot Stuff sounds similar to the cast recording album, and not much on Last Dance, a bit of an audio difference or sped up. Speaking of Hot Stuff, Ariana DeBose is kinda unrecognizable, mainly because of her hairstyling, and I never thought she could make some smooth moves. Last Dance is basically the goodbye song to end the show, nothing special. At least you can have some sort of moves to both of these, especially if it's hot. Number 11, 1 Week by Bare Naked Ladies. 2018 marked the 30th anniversary of the Canadian band Bare Naked Ladies. Back for their second parade without their original lead singer, Stephen Page, they performed live their most popular song, their 1998 hit from their 4th album, Stunt, track number 1, 1 Week. It is fun to hear this song again. The first time I heard it was, of course, in Digimon the movie. And kudos for them for singing it live, although without Stephen anymore and now how doing it together as a group just kind of feels odd without him. They are doing their best, it's just being an old hit without their former lead singer just doesn't work. If they did something recent, it might have been a better performance. Number 10, Beautiful by Botsy. Last year, a single song called Beautiful was released by a 21-year-old named Andrew Bossy. His song would be added to his debut album Cosmic as track number 13. This song is so soothing, although some lyrics are too sexual. Like, after the Me Too movement, I don't think some of those lines are not that good to flirt. Anyways, his voice of mixing that pop and R&B style works so well. It's a shame the parade felt short on him, and I do think he did this live, although this was before Rita Aura's performance, so I can't confirm that. There was also another single version of the song with Camila Cabello, which would be awesome for the two to be together, although I don't think being in the same parade with her former Fifth Harmony member might be a bit sour. Number 9, Good As You by Kane Brown. Here's another song that frankly plays on country radio and even normal radio stations. Kane Brown released his second album, Experiment. Track number 2, later in the beginning of 2019, would get a single release and would probably be his most famous song, Good As You. It is a better country song to listen to than Closer to You, but it did get annoying hearing it on the radio. It does have a good start and then just went downhill a bit. I mean, some of the lyrics don't make sense, like, wake up every day here in this bed. What? The next one I am not excited to talk about, not because of the song or the artist here that performs it, but another artist that was involved with the song. Number 8, Babe by Sugarland. After a 4-year break, Jennifer Nettles got her music duo Sugarland back, this time with a new male vocalist and guitarist with Christian Bush, and the first new album since the group's hiatus is their 6th and most recent, Bigger. Starting the celeb roster and Jennifer's second parade, track number 7 of the album that was a single first is very special to them, as the song Babe was written by none other than Taylor Swift, even as a featured artist here, because she had been dreaming of collaborating with the duo during the beginning days of her music career. The song itself is amazing. Definitely one of the best songs about affairs going by through the music video, and how Taylor brought that country vibe she had not gotten in for a few years. As she's more pop, it's nice to hear that again. The parade, though, it did felt incomplete, especially since Taylor Swift was not there with them, which I gotta say, I wouldn't mind if she joined them back then in 2018. If she was in today's standards of the Macy's parade, no. I'm not going to go into detail on this. All I just say is ever since last year, the news media needs to get a life and talk about real news instead of a random Taylor Swift story that is none of our business. Number 7, We Believe by Macy singing Christmas Tree. After his first success last year, Macy singing Christmas Tree is back with another set of Macy's employees and a couple from Delta Airlines, the sponsor of this float, to debut a brand new holiday song that fits well for Macy's, We Believe. It's not as strong as last year's performance with Together at Christmas, which was at number 1 last episode, as this one's more calmer of the spirit of believing in the holiday season. I do like how they changed the outfits from many colors in the previous year to just primarily red, as it is Macy's tree here. Still great talents here, and having the male and female vocals having separate parts is great as well. Number 6, Most Wonderful Time of the Year by Martina McBride with the Young People's Chorus of New York City. 20 years later, country singer Martina McBride has returned to the Macy's parade to spread some holiday cheer with her 14th, most recent, and second Christmas album, It's the Holiday Season. Joined by the Young People's Chorus of New York City, they do track number 2, her rendition of It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year, or as it's called in the album, Most Wonderful Time of the Year. There have been calmer renditions of the song, and I do think hers is the best cover so far, and one that has not been played in any of my local radio stations during the holiday season. The only thing I didn't like is the Young People's Chorus of New York City's involvement. Not bad backups, it's just I would have them do other parts to fit well with the right moment when Martina is or isn't singing. Number 5, It's Time to Dance by the cast of Broadway's The Prom. The 2018 parade was notable for 2 things: the cold temperature and the first to have a same-sex kiss during the televised event, which leads into this musical called The Prom, where a bunch of Broadway stars makes a prom for an event for all sexes in the state of Indiana, as a conservative school board canceled a high school prom because one of the students that is a lesbian wanted to bring her girlfriend, due to their hate of LGBTQ+ rights. So these actors come together with these students in all different relationships to perform the final number of the show, It's Time to Dance. I could not help but smile throughout this number. The whole setting, the whole feeling, and the supporting of the same-sex rights, that even the Broadway actors in the story of the musical are having fun at this prom. I went single to prom without a girl, which is heartbreaking because I'm too shy to ask one. This number does so much in the parade, even to the build-up of the kiss was well done on the transitions with the camera. Definitely a historical moment for Macy's of showing us their support to LGBTQ plus rights in the realms of same-sex pop culture with this musical. Number 4, Rise by Jack and Jack. From a comedy duo on Vine to now a recording artist, Omaha, Nebraska natives and friends Jack Johnson and Jack Galinsky collabed with a DJ named Guy Robin, aka Jonas Blue, for his debut album Blue. Combined with all the collabs that the DJ has done, including this one with this duo called Rise, would later be added as track number 11 in his album. A song I really jammed a lot throughout early 2019 in my iTunes. The catchiness and the empowerment of a rising moment that many people think of the stereotypical adult who rise into popularity that are school dropouts and still lives at their parents' house. The parade could have done better because as we can see, only Jack Galinsky is primarily singing here and not much on Johnson. And since it is a collab, you could have Jonas Blue on the float doing the music as he is a DJ artist. And the performance did felt short. Number 3, Wonderful Christmas Time by Diana Ross. Ending the celebrity roster is a legend that hasn't been to the parade since 1979. The legendary Diana Ross has returned to the parade in celebration of her reissue of her 12th and first holiday album from 1994, A Very Special Season. Now retitled as the title song she performs, track number 3 in the original, now track number 1, her rendition of Paul McCartney's Wonderful Christmas Time, alongside with her entire family, including daughter, actress Tracy Ellis Ross. Now, many of us have considered the original version by The Beatles as one of the worst Christmas songs of all time. It is bad, especially that song keeps playing on my local radio station. This is 100% better than the original version. With her behind the voice and how it recomposes in her style, just does give you in that Christmas feeling. The parade, though, has many questions. Not only she did not re-record this for the parade, only since this version was made back in the early 90s and her voice would have changed a bit since she was 74, her lip sync is a fail, and her hair kind of blocks most of her face. Number 2, One More Sleep by Leona Lewis. Remember the Cheetah Girls song 5 More Days to Christmas back in 2005? Well, we have another song about counting 5 more days till Christmas, with British superstar Leona Lewis does a modern way from her 4th album from 2013, Christmas with Love, which had gained mixed reviews. But track number 1 got a single prior to the album that had received massive acclaim, counting down the days till Christmas in the 2010s with One More Sleep. I really dig this song back when I got it on iTunes during the holiday season that year, cause it's not just so catchy, but also a great way of counting down to on how many days. And this is more about the love of your life coming home on the best time of the year and go to sleep with later that night. I really like the adults in front of the Homewood Suites float counting down with Leona's performance. Just revisiting it, I wish there was more time in the parade, since the song is 4 minutes that actually doesn't waste any time at all. Number 1, Heat by Kelly Clarkson. I would say 2018 was the big comeback for Kelly Clarkson in terms of mainstream media of music, and that began with her being the winning coach of her first season to Brynn Cartelli on season 14 of The Voice. The other was the song from her 8th album, Meaning of Life, last year. Track number 3, Heat, got a single release and became a big hit on its own. It did become a radio favorite, and I thought the original artist was Jessie J when I listened to it. Nope, it's Kelly Clarkson. Now she performs the entire song live as a pre-parade act, and unlike Gwen Stefani, she performs it at Herald Square. This is what a pre-parade party feels like. A little live concert of one big celebrity at Herald Square doing his or her entire song live in front of an audience. It did got me the heat of my body moving up and down throughout the song and the parade. As I stated at the beginning, this parade was infamous for its lip-syncing fails, and although there were some that were live, Kelly Clarkson showed us singing live gives us the best song of the 2018 Macy's Parade. Thank you guys for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and hit the like button. We wrap up the 2010 decade next episode as 2019's just around the corner. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta butter myself up to avoid slipping from high winds and to see if I can bump into Al Rooker. See you later!